Hey guys, good to be back. So today I just want to speak on the subject of what is at stake, right? Because when the stakes are high, the intensity of the game changes, and when the stakes aren't high, you play anyhow. And so this week actually, I was flying back to Cape Town, and there's this woman who was rushing. She was asking if she can go past through the boarding gates because she was late, and as we're checking in, and she had to rush for whatever she had to go to. And I was like, wow, this woman must be really late for her flight. And she disappears and I don't see her. Only to find that as I'm about to get into my plane, she's like one person behind me. So I'm thinking, wow, like you rushed all the way, Kanti, we're going into the same flight, And the thing is, why she rushed and how I handle the situation are two different things. She might have had an appointment, she might not have the funds to buy another plane ticket. There could be so many different factors, but once we know what is at stake, once we understand what it is that we could lose, we understand that some battles aren't worth losing, and some battles are fought better in prayer. And even looking at the Bible, when you look at Saul, there's a time when God told Samuel to tell Saul that he should kill and destroy everything in the city that he had called him to go destroy everything in. But Saul kept some of the good things, some of the good livestock for himself. And what happens is he lost his kingship. So when you don't understand what is at stake, Saul did not understand that his kingship, his position, and his royalty was at stake just because he was honest and he wasn't obedient to what God had called him to do. If you look at Jacob knew what was at stake in Genesis when he knew his brother Esau was coming after he robbed him of his blessings, and he encountered the angel of the Lord and he wrestled with the angel. In Genesis 32 and 33, he wrestles with an angel and his hip is broken, but he says, I will not let you go until you bless me. When you know what is at stake, your game plan changes altogether. When you understand that your family and the salvation of your family is at stake, you don't play anyhow. You become light, you radiate, your prayers change. When you understand that things could be different, you begin to operate from a different level. And an analogy I got at church this weekend was that when you are at ground level, you see things as they come. But when you move your altitude to an altitude of prayer, when you move higher, when you go from where you are to where God is in the heavenly realms, what happens is you begin to see the city in a different way. Now you go, oh wow, there's that building and there's that. Everything you see it in one go, rather than as it goes. Everything becomes so small. Not because those buildings are small, but because you are at a different altitude. You are at a different attitude and place in your life. So I think that is the point, that when we understand what is at stake, when we understand that the enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy, when we understand that he's like a lion roaring, wanting to destroy and devour the children of God, we'll understand that we cannot just become lukewarm Christians. We need to become serious. We need to become intense. The intensity of our Christianity, the intensity of our lifestyle needs to change. And so that's my challenge this week, is that realize what it is that is at stake if you do not actually take certain actions and begin to change it, whether it be in your family, whether it be in your academics, whether it be in your workplace. Maybe your promotion is at stake because you wanted to sleep 10 minutes later because you snoozed. So there's so much at stake. And if we do not understand that, if we do not have such an intensity with Christ where we know what is at stake, when we know what is to come, then we're going to act anyhow. Jesus Christ knew what was at stake when he was in the boat with the disciples. That's why he could sleep, because he had such an aerial view of his life that he knew that this is not the cross. So he could sleep knowing that, I have seen my life even in advance. So I know that this, where I am right now, is not the end. And so that's why how he played the game was different to how the disciples played. The disciples thought, oh my gosh, we're going to die, So be challenged to be so deep in the knowledge of what God has called you to, so deep in the knowledge of what is happening around you and what is at stake. Because trust me, this is a matter of life and death. People's lives are at stake. Your own life and your own salvation is at stake if we just play anyhow.